In the first 24 hours of the 2026 Iran war, a conflict still unfolding as you watch this, the United States struck over 1,000 targets. Not in days, not in weeks, but in one day. Just one day. That operational tempo would have taken weeks in any previous war in history. So how? The answer isn't a general in a bunker, it's an algorithm. The US and Israeli joint offensive on Iran revealed how algorithm-based targeting and data-driven intelligence are now rewriting the mechanics of warfare itself.
We've got a lot of autonomous systems or systems that drones and others incorporated with smart AI aspects to them, but a lot of which I can't talk about here.
And here's what nobody is telling you. The real question isn't can AI win a war? It's who is actually pulling the trigger? We'll get to that. Let's follow the money first, because that tells you everything. For its 2026 budget, the U.S. Department of Defense requested $13.4 billion for autonomous weapons and systems, unmanned drones, AI-guided missiles, and remotely operated platforms. The Pentagon is also spending $9 billion on specialized data centers, the infrastructure that keeps all of these AI systems online, and these numbers will almost certainly grow. Palantir and Anduril, the two primary contractors feeding this machine, recorded their largest ever annual defense revenues in 2025, $903 million and $912 million respectively. This isn't a research project anymore. This is a full industrial supply chain, built around machines that kill. The butterfly effect here is simple. Every dollar flowing into AI warfare is a dollar shaping what the next war looks like, and who survives it. Ukraine, Gaza, Iran. These are not separate stories. They are three chapters of the same revolution. In 2025 alone, Ukrainian drones killed or seriously injured more than 240,000 Russian soldiers. By March 2026, drones accounted for 96% of Russia's battlefield casualties. AI is now on the cusp of making battlefield decisions, not just assisting with them. Ukrainian footage released in January showed Russian soldiers surrendering to an armed ground robot, controlled by AI. In Gaza, the targeting went even further. Israel integrated two AI systems, Lavender, which maintains databases of suspected combatants, and Habsora, known as the Gospel, which generates bombing targets automatically from surveillance data.
Israel and its defenders swear that the IDF has followed the rules of war in their assault on Gaza, that they aren't at war with civilians but laser-focused on Hamas, that any civilian deaths are the fault of Hamas for operating within the civilian population, or at the very worst, regrettable mistakes, such as in the case of the 7 World Central Aid Kitchen workers who were killed in that series of 3 drone strikes. The IDF, Israel's defenders say, is the most moral army in the world.
This technology has accelerated the pace of operations so severely that human operators now have just a few seconds to make a firing decision. And China is watching all of this, and moving fast. At the 2024 Zhuhai Air Show, Chinese defense manufacturer Norinco debuted an entire brigade of armored vehicles and drones controlled by AI. By January 2026, a single Chinese soldier was shown operating a swarm of 200 autonomous drones simultaneously. The Pentagon has stated it is concerned. It cannot match China's manufacturing speed for autonomous weapons. Here's where geopolitics gets complicated. A political declaration on responsible military use of AI was signed by dozens of countries. But major military powers, including the United States and China, have resisted binding constraints. The Pentagon's Replicator program received $1 billion in 2025 to fast-track deployment of thousands of expendable autonomous drones. The 2026 Pentagon AI and autonomous budget is a record $14.2 billion. The UN Secretary General has called for a legally binding treaty to ban fully autonomous weapons operating without human oversight, with a 2026 target date. But the Geneva Conference on this issue is already being described as a moment of truth that may produce nothing binding. The soft power play here is real. Whichever nation controls the dominant AI targeting architecture controls the rules of every future war. That is the definition of hegemony, rewritten in code. Here's what every mainstream outlet is missing in this story. The debate about AI in warfare is framed as, will machines replace soldiers? That is the wrong question. The real question is this: when an AI kills the wrong person, who goes to prison? Investigations found that Israeli analysts were under immense pressure to approve AI, recommended targets quickly, without sufficient verification. And in 2025, the US Army warned that a battlefield AI system built by Palantir and Anduril was a black box, meaning no one could fully audit its decisions. Authorities are currently investigating whether AI was involved in a US airstrike on an Iranian girls' school that killed 170 civilians, the majority of whom were female students.
They are designed to be among the most precise weapons in modern warfare. Tomahawk cruise missiles are programmed to hit specific coordinates within meters. But even the most advanced precision system doesn't matter if the target itself is wrong. That appears to be what happened February 28th, when a girls' elementary school was hit in southern Iran. The U.S. military has been investigating the strike, and according to the New York Times, its preliminary findings confirm the U.S. military itself was responsible. Officers at Central Command were targeting an Iranian naval base in the area, but used out-of-date intelligence.
The U.S. Central Command says humans make the final call. But when a human has 3 seconds and an AI-generated target list, is that really a human decision? So where does this go? Here are the 3 most likely futures. The international community succeeds, as it eventually did with chemical weapons, in establishing a binding global framework for lethal autonomous weapons. AI assists soldiers. It does not replace them. A human finger stays on every trigger. The AI arms race between the US and China accelerates beyond any legal framework's ability to catch up. Autonomous weapons proliferate to non-state actors and terrorist groups. As of 2025, 469 armed groups worldwide have already deployed drone weapons. The first fully autonomous mass casualty event occurs, with no human accountable and no law to prosecute it under. A messy middle. AI becomes the dominant decision support layer in every major military, accelerating warfare to a pace that humans can barely keep up with, but never quite fully removing them from the loop. Wars become faster, cheaper, and more opaque, and the civilian cost remains dangerously unclear. Humanity has always drawn a line between a soldier and a weapon. The soldier chooses, the weapon obeys. Artificial intelligence is erasing that line permanently. The real power shift of the 21st century isn't happening in parliaments or boardrooms. It's happening in the milliseconds between a data point and a missile. So here is the question you need to sit with. If a machine decides who dies, and no human is truly responsible, do the rules of war still mean anything at all? If you want to understand the other side of this equation, how China is building its AI military dominance, and why the US fears it cannot match their manufacturing speed, click the briefing on screen right now. It connects directly to everything we just covered. Stay informed. Stay sharp. This briefing is over.